Oh,
2.
I should hide these.
What's on the table there?
It's a private item. I'm not sharing with anyone yet.
When are you going to share it?
Friday,
Are you coming out with a new line of clothing?
perhaps.
Fallon soft pants now available at Kmart. Leo, would you buy Fallon soft pants at Kmart?
I would.
Thanks, Leo. Show the camera, but you're not looking.
Eric, blur this. All will be revealed Friday.
No, it takes a long time to blur. Anyway, roll the open.
Sorry.
Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. Every day. We do it our own way. Sing it out every day. Yeah, let's make it a good day. Every day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now, here's Jason.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Hi. Hi. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Jace. First up, you've heard of a rain delay during a baseball game, right? But how about a duck delay? Right there, look. It happened, this was at a recent minor league game in Springfield, Missouri. A pair of ducks showed up on the field and started checking things out. Players and the grounds crew tried shooing them away, but that didn't actually work. One duck flew up, but the other one stayed on the field. Wanted to stay for the game until crews opened the outfield gate, and then finally it grabbed a hot dog and it was ready to leave. Yeah. No ducks here, I promise. Only Fallon, everybody. There she is. Stop. How you doing, friends?
Good. The male flew away immediately. The mallard, he was gone. The hen, she was like, no. She's a stubborn woman. She was like, I'm not leaving. No.
I got to tell you, speaking of that, like a baseball game, it's like $1 hot dog night at Target Field here in the Twin Cities.
Tonight?
No, it was last night.
Okay.
And the lines for the $1 wieners were like down the concourses. And I thought to myself, thank you, audience. I thought to myself, how long would you wait in line for a $1 wiener?
That's a good question.
You know,
I feel like 20 minutes is my max.
20 minutes?
Yeah, but
Because what's the ROI on that? What's the return on investment? You know?
Well, to be fair, usually...
I really did think about this, yeah.
It's a good question. Like, how long are you willing to wait for certain things?
I'm sorry, what, row one? What? How many row one wants to know how many hot dogs. I didn't get any because I thought I'm not waiting a half hour for a $1 wiener. I'm not doing that.
I always feel bad for the guy too, because he's the guy, the $1 guy. It's he's out and about and he has the thing and he has to sit it down and he does like a whole thing. And you want mustard? You feel guilty asking for mustard, but you're like, yeah, I want mustard.
Yeah.
And he has a whole process. I'm like, that's bad on the back. So.
Can I talk to my friends? I'll be quick about this. Our friends in Chicago, my beloved Chicago. Actually, Jeff doesn't even know this. This past weekend was the 2-year anniversary. We did a show road trip to Chicago right when the show launched in Chicago, and it was myself, executive producer Jeff, my husband Colin, and my best friend Lisa, and photographer Eric. And we went to Wrigley Field, my beloved Wrigley Field, and you can now order stuff at your seat. You know, you scan this QR code and you can order a hot dog or whatever. So we all did that, and everybody got their wiener but Eric. Everybody. So And I'm not joking. So as we were driving home on 94, Eric goes, could we swing by Wrigley and pick up my hot dog? Yeah, I'm sorry. So if the good folks at Wrigley Field are watching, could you send a hot dog? You owe us one. You owe that man a hot dog right there, yeah.
And that at Wrigley, that was probably an expensive glizzy, I'm telling you what.
We didn't even tell Eric's wife how much he spent on that hot dog, yeah. He would have been in the dog. I'm sorry, Eric, I won't mention anything. Let's get started, everybody. It's time for the hot dish. Roll it, Leo. Here we go. Speaking of food. Let's get started with some hot topics in a casserole dish. One final mission. Only a few weeks to go until the final Mission Impossible hits movie theaters. Regal Cinema. You know, everyone's doing these. Regal Cinemas, look at this, everybody. Just unveiled their new collectible popcorn bucket for the movie. And let's just say it's a lot. Look at that. This is not an SNL skit. No, this is real. The bucket locks down the popcorn, requiring people to use 2 keys to open it up. Now, yeah, right there. There's the keys. Then you open it up. And by the time you open it, you're not hungry anymore. But anyway.
This is going to enrage people. This is going to cause chaos in theaters. Yeah.
It's obviously a nod to the movie where Tom Cruise is on the hunt for a special key. The bucket is only available. This is Regal Cinemas. Nick Offerman joins the Mission Impossible franchise, and he was on Kimmel Tuesday night, and he shared his first reactions, by the way, working with Tom Cruise and what it's like going to Tom's birthday party. Watch this.
And by the end of the first day, I went home and said to my wife, Megan, I'm in love with Tom Cruise. It was like I was going to a college class of Charisma 101, or protagonist doctorate degree. And I mean, by the time he finished shooting that scene, I was like, the movie. I will take a bullet for you, Tom. Like, when we arrived at his birthday party, Megan screen tested for Risky Business back in the 80s. And so Tom was like, and he stood there and talked to us for 20 minutes. And then when we left, he came running out and talked to us for another 20 minutes. There were at least 100 people at this party. If everybody got 40 minutes, it doesn't add up, Jimmy.
No.
It's a lot of small talk.
Yeah.
That's a lot of small talk.
You know what, though? If you have 100 people at your party, you probably don't actually want to talk to half of them. So maybe he was like keeping himself busy with them to avoid other people.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
There's no way he liked all 100 people at that party.
I have anecdotally, and I've interviewed him twice. Once in person, once on satellite. And all the entertainment journalists back in the day, and I'm sure they still feel this way, all the entertainment journalists second that emotion that Nick Offerman said. You may think you may think Tom is Nutter Butters. You may not get him. You may not like some of the personal things he's done. But I'm not kidding. I've heard from entertainment journalists, and I've met. He's very nice. He is that. That's who he is.
I've always seen that every person I've ever seen work with him says the nicest things. Like, think of, like, what Dakota Fanning worked with him when she was a child, and he still sends her a coconut cake every Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
So he seems just like a very genuine human.
One more thing. Let's go back to those popcorn buckets.
They should do an SNL spoof.
They should do. Let's go back to that popcorn. Here's the thing with those. And again, I'm at Disney a lot, and they oh God, people, you talk about waiting in line for $1 wieners, row one. Yeah. People at Disney wait in line for 4 hours for a popcorn bucket. Here's the thing about those. They're worthless because they're not practical. They hold 4 nubs of kern because they're not built for eating. They're built for collecting.
Yeah, and then you have to carry it around the rest of the day.
I don't want a giant goofy around my neck, you know, in the Orlando sun.
No.
Mission Impossible, by the way, The Final Reckoning opens May 23rd. Next up. Speaking of Disney. Hey, speaking of Disney, this broke hours ago. Big news from Mickey today. The company just announced it's a new theme park. It's 7th. and this one's coming to the Middle East. The 7th Disney park is being built right now in the United Arab Emirates on an island near Abu Dhabi. Now this is this is an early rendering. This is like an inspirational thing. Disney calls it. It says it's going to be the most technologically advanced park they've ever built using the latest innovation. In an interview on Good Morning of the America, chairman and my boyfriend, Bob Iger, said it will have a castle. And he explained, and this is interesting, why did they pick the Middle East? Listen to this.
The UAE and Abu Dhabi is a crossroads of the world. This is a hub in many respects, but also because it is located where it is, it's accessible to so many different regions, places where we typically have, only scratched the surface in terms of attendance to our parks.
Get this. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Look at this map of the world, and you sometimes forget right there, smack dab in the middle. You do kind of forget where that is. Anyway, and get this, a third of the world's population lives within a 4-hour flight to Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
Hi. Right? Audience, I thought, oh, wow. From a business point of view, no wonder Mickey and Minnie's getting out the shovel.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine the lines at that park?
Right. Reports are planning the new theme park started in 2017, but really kicked in last year. The new park will be the first to open since Shanghai Disney in 2016.
Wow.
Yeah. Makes sense from a business point of view? Absolutely.
There are so many we were talking about this earlier, in Asia. I would love to go. Just the food and the rides look so different and amazing.
In many ways, they have, I'm sorry, WDW, that's why some of us fans here were like, can we get some of these rides? Because they're really great rides in Shanghai. You went to Paris Disneyland. The castle there is stunningly
Very beautiful.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I think when I went, they had just transitioned, because for a brief time it actually wasn't owned by Disney, and they were like trying to make it magical again when we went. And I will say it wasn't quite there yet, but that was like in 2019. So I bet you it's like very lovely now.
They've made some advancements. We have a lot more dish when we come back after this. Woo! $1 hot dogs. Get your hot dogs. Welcome back. Fallon and I learned during that commercial break, our audience coordinator, Aaron Schwab, is off this week, so photographer Eric is filling in, and he does it a little differently than Aaron does. We learned that he taught the audience how to properly streak.
Which is not something you would usually teach an audience before a live television show.
No, but yeah. I'm only worried about row 1. That's all. I have a little bit of concern about row 1 right there, yeah. Welcome back, everybody. The Met Gala happened on Monday night, giving fashion commentators a chance to pick their favorite again. Jimmy Kimmel shared his outrage last night. Watch this.
But the way these people use the word giving drives me nuts.
There's something about her that just it's giving queen right now.
It's really giving queen.
She is giving us a refined look, and it's giving versatility.
It is kind of giving Harlem Renaissance. It's giving vintage.
It's giving Goldfinger. Giving regal realness today.
It was giving coming to America, but coming to the Met. It's giving cornrows all the way around. Like, where does it start? Where does it end?
Giving like a southern saloon.
She is kind of giving sexy. It's giving pumpkin spice.
It's giving preacher. It's giving preacher man, but the daughter of a preacher.
Yes.
She's giving bombshells. She's giving jazz era sophistication, but she's also giving us like tap dancer legs.
Guillermo, will you grab something for me to throw up into?
Yeah.
How about next year maybe we can start giving a thesaurus to the hosts of these shows?
I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. That is proof that's further proof right there. Those shows should have died with Joan Rivers. They should have died with Joan Rivers.
It's actually I'm actually surprised people are still saying that because that was a trend years ago.
Years ago.
The one that I remember is Shawn Mendes saying, it's giving Cher. I think about Camila Cabello. That's like the most famous one to me. And that was like 5 years ago.
I'm not going to comment on Sean's comments, but this is the part of the show where, audience, read my mind. Thank you. Thank you, row 2. More dish. Putting the rumors to rest, let's move on. Since the White Lotus ended a few weeks ago, we've seen headline after headline after headline about a reported feud between 2 of the stars. Now, it has to do with Walton Goggins and Aimee Lou Wood. There's Amy right there, who played a couple on the hit show. Well, on the red carpet of the Met Gala, poor Aimee Lou she was asked again, and she had, stop the presses, nothing bad to say about Walton, her co-star. She said the fixation on a possible feud made her realize people are bored. And when it comes down to the fact that they don't follow each other, or they didn't follow each other on Instagram for a while, she said people try to analyze social media way too much. Now look, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Of course we did it on this show, but I'm now done with it. And even when we did it, you and I both said, and I do believe this, nothing is surprising. You don't have to love or get along with everybody you work with.
Agreed, but in this scenario, I'm pretty sure they did love each other and something did happen. And yes, we do analyze if you and the lead you were starring with followed each other and then stopped following each other and you're not doing any press together. You can say you're fine. They both started following each other again. I think it's literally so people will quit asking them about the feud, not because they want to follow each other.
Agree. But
there are lots of situations where, yeah, it's fine if like Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick aren't friends in real life.
That's what I mean.
And that's true. But I think in this case, there was something different that happened behind the scenes.
You do?
I think that there was something that happened. And it's fine. It's none of our business. But of course, people are going to ask when that cast acted like they were all obsessed with each other. They were all best friends. They all were following each other. And they played romantic together. They were following each other. They would post pictures together constantly. And then it just stopped and they unfollowed each other. It did feel weird.
I'm sure it was probably a pressure cooker too. Look, it was a 6-month shoot. It's in Thailand. It's probably long. Something maybe did happen.
Right.
I'm just saying it's not out of the ordinary. I've gone through periods where I've been very open. We've talked about it on the air. Alexis and I on the radio show, we've had moments where we haven't, been, I love you. You know what I mean? But we've been together since God was a boy. I mean, you know what I mean? It's relationships ebbs and flows.
But to not analyze social media is also a little crazy because
for her to say that?
That is what we analyze. Like in this era, if you realize someone hasn't been posting their boyfriend or husband all of a sudden for like 2 months, you start going, did something happen with them? Like you do analyze it a little bit.
True, because you're right. Let's be honest. If you suddenly unfollowed me and I suddenly unfollowed you,
everyone would be like, that's very bizarre. They seemed like they were really good friends a week ago.
More dish now. Nearly 20 years ago, The Sopranos wrapped up its run on HBO with a finale that people are still talking about, still arguing about. Well, star Lorraine Bracco visited The Tonight Show Tuesday and revealed, this is great, I had never heard this, what Tony Soprano himself, the late great James Gandolfini, thought of the controversial ending.
When you saw how The Sopranos ended, you didn't love it at first.
Well,
when it went to black,
I'll tell you the truth. I was sitting next to Jimmy Gandolfini, and he just went like this. That's it? That's it?
Wow. Really?
And you know how he always used to push his hair back? And he just walked out.
Really?
Yeah. He was like, that's it. He was like, he couldn't believe it.
Lorraine says, now, but But it's yes and. Lorraine says, but the fact that people are still mad about it proved it was successful. David, the creator, did what he intended to do. By the way, she stars in a new Netflix show with Vince Vaughn called Nonas, which I showed you the trailer. CBS Sunday Morning did a profile about the real life guy. Speaking of this, later in the hour, Fallon and I will share, because you all have one, a TV show, a TV series finale, or the end of a movie that made you want to throw something, that you were so, and yet you're thinking about it right now. Fallon and I have our list. Yours is, so many people are going to agree with yours.
I think people will agree with yours. I haven't seen one of your two. The other I did see.
Yeah. But I never, but look, what I'm surprised about is Jimmy Gandolfini, he didn't know what it was until he watched it with Lorraine. Like, shooting it, he didn't realize that was going to be the last frame.
They shot more.
Oh, they shot more. Oh, okay, that's why. Because I'm like, you were there, you shot it.
Yeah, don't you get the
brief? Yeah, you get the script.
The rundown.
Next up, the future of late night TV. The New York Times just dropped a really fascinating story. There it is right there. Asking if late night is on life support. And honestly, I hate to say it because I'm old school and I love the format. They may be onto something. So let me explain. John Mulaney is testing that theory with this new Netflix show that maybe you might have checked out on Wednesdays called Everybody's Live. It used to be called Everybody's Live in LA. It's got monologues, celebs, even a sidekick, all the classic elements that Steve Allen and Johnny pioneered in the 60s. But this is streamed live on Wednesday nights on Netflix. Well, here's the catch. Traditional late night is struggling. You guys know that. CBS is even giving up its 11:30 Central Time, 12:30 slot this fall. For the first time in 30 years, CBS will not have a talk show on in that hour. Meanwhile, shows like Hot Ones, where celebrities get interviewed while eating spicy wings, these types of shows are thriving online. Podcasters, they are cashing in big time. Joe Rogan landed a deal that talk show hosts used to get, $250 million. Alex Cooper, $125 million. The Kelsey brothers, they didn't need help with their mortgage, but they got $100 million for their podcast. So is Mulaney's show a new beginning? I don't know. But if it works, maybe the future of late night isn't dead. It just looks like a podcast show. I got to tell you, and we proved it today. We were in our meeting, our pre-show meeting, and what did you talk about? What did you bring up?
I just said I'm like loving Amy Poehler's podcast so much. It makes me laugh a lot. Like, it's very wholesome, and I love her conversations with celebrities. But I get it because I think more, like we were talking about, Jeff or Bjorn mentioned that they're going to add a podcast category to the Golden Globes.
That was just announced.
That's crazy, right? But I was like, yeah, of course they are, because podcasts are hosted by celebrities now. It's not like they're going to give that award to some common person. They're going to give it to like an Amy Poehler because she's already a celebrity.
Or the Smartless Boys.
Yes, and celebrities like Going On Celebrities podcast, they'd prefer to be interviewed by someone like them probably than someone like you and me, because they know them. They know that they're going to respect their boundaries more. So I'm not surprised. I've watched John Mulaney's show. John Mulaney is so funny. The show is a little clunky, but it's unique because he's not interviewing the celebrities on the couch about their projects. He has like an overall theme of the episode, and they talk about that. So and he has like little funny bits and segments, but you can tell it's live because it's not like seamless and smooth necessarily.
As I said at the beginning, I hate to say it, because I'm a creature. I've always loved late night. I mean, if you look, this show represents things that I've loved in TV. There's elements of Oprah, there's elements of daytime, there's elements of, it's all intentional. Anyway, having said that, if you look at where everybody's going and you look at what younger folks are watching, they're watching podcasts. The #1 source of podcast, which is supposed to be an audio medium, YouTube. That's why all these podcasts are transitioning, or not just transitioning, moving to putting cameras in the studio because people are watching them. And there is an allure to those types of interviews compared to, and I hate to say this, compared to what we have to do. Because if you think about it, a conversation with us, and I do hate this, but we got to pay bills. Like, I'm getting ready to toss to a commercial. Podcasts can do great lengthy conversations with great flow. Like right now, I'm getting a 30-second rap, and I'm just pointing that out. I'm just pointing that out because on a podcast, thank you, Jeff, right there, yeah. On a podcast, if we go off on a subject, who cares? There's no Jeff going rap moron. You know what I mean?
Right.
Jeff doesn't have that sign yet, by the way.
He's getting it though. It's ordered.
It's ordered.
Yeah.
Our conversations can sometimes be stilted in this format.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Like you said, you got to pay the rent for the building.
And speaking of that, we'll be right back. Coming up, meet the artist who's turning a classic American novel into a graphic novel. Then, what are the absolute worst TV show and movie endings? The ones that had you screaming, what? At the end. And craziest headlines we could find. Head-scratching headline. That and more when The Jason Show continues. So glad you're here. Oh, hello, everybody. Let me be honest, and our next guest is going to laugh at this. When we had the meeting about today's show, it is the book from high school that I hated the most, that everyone else loved. I actually hated it so much, I was mad at the teacher. Mr. Johnson. I'm talking about The Great Gatsby. It is a staple. I know. It is a staple, though, in English classes and has been adapted numerous times in basically every type of venue. Well, now one of the latest adaptations is with a graphic novel, and our guest today is the author and cartoonist behind it. Audience, give it up for Woodman-Maynard, everybody. How are you? Welcome. Nice to meet you. I laughed out loud when Bjorn and when we were talking about the show today. I said, I gotta be honest, Bjorn, I have this memory, and I'm so actually glad you're here because I look forward to you changing my opinion about this. But this is an old memory. 1992, Mr. Johnson's film lit class. Hated it. Now, so let me talk to me. What spoke to you about this classic?
So, Mr. Bizzette's 10th grade English class.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
I love it.
It totally blew my mind. The figurative language, the lushness of the world, like how descriptive it was, how alive, which is kind of, you know, I'm mainly an artist over being a writer.
Yeah.
And so it just felt like it captured what was in my head, kind of the vividness of it.
Okay, so now correct me if I'm wrong. The catalyst for you doing this is it went into the public domain. Were you waiting for this, or did you know that it was coming into the domain?
I totally lucked out.
Oh.
Like, I thought of the idea, and then I was like, oh, I should look this up to see if I can do it legally. And it was like 2 years away to the public domain, and it takes about, or maybe it was 3 years, but it takes about 1.5 years to make a book, another year to publish. So it was kind of like the perfect amount of time, and I was just lucky.
Because it's like, folks, if you guys don't know, it's not the same, but it was like Wicked when The Wizard of Oz went into public domain. That author was ready to go with it. Okay, so what are we looking at right here? This is, because again, you're mainly an artist, this is you creating the graphic novel.
Yeah, so this is called the inking stage. So I am kind of tracing over my pencil sketches, and obviously this is time-lapsed. I wish I was
I was just gonna say, Kay's fingers don't really move that fast, everybody. Yeah. And okay, as an artist, I was just watching this documentary about the era where artists transition at ILM from hand-drawn practical effects to the digital era. What is it like for you as an artist using digital tools? Do you love it? Do you still mix talk to me about that.
Sure. So I start out manually by hand doing sketches. I just find that it's a lot more creative when I work that way. And then eventually, once I like the idea generally, then I move to working digitally. But eventually, once I have the line art done, I print it out on watercolor paper and watercolor it all by hand. So this whole book,
are you
228 pages are watercolored by hand.
By you?
Yes. which I learned for this book. I didn't know how to watercolor.
I was just going to ask you. You didn't know it was a talent that you did not have.
No, yeah, I just knew that I could make art and that I can learn artistic things relatively easily. And so I just did a test, and I was like, yeah, I think this captures what I want to capture. And then I kind of learned from, you know, YouTube videos.
Kay, let me ask you, because like some movies, you know, Broadway people will say, oh, there's some movies that should never be turned into Broadway shows because it's just two different art forms. So let me ask you, what about Gatsby made you realize, not think because, hello, we're looking at it, what about the story made you think, oh, this is a good story to be translated via a graphic novel format? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel strongly about this. Like, I look at different books, like, do I want to adapt Pride and Prejudice, which I love, but I was like, no, it's just, I don't know what the graphic novel medium would add to it. And so for Gatsby, it was the figurative language and the metaphors. So I was reading the book with the eye to adapt it, and there's this scene when Jordan and Daisy, the writing says that they were blown back in as though, like, and anchored upon a balloon floating in the room. Essentially, I'm butchering this.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I can just draw them as though floating in the air, and then they sink back down to earth, and it's so much more beautiful and interesting than if they're just lying on a couch. And so it was that language. So there's other examples.
And that language throughout.
Yeah, so like there's a movie star that's described as an orchid, and I draw her as an orchid. And so I just take kind of the metaphors and bring them to the kind of literal interpretation.
What's the reaction been like?
People seem to really like it. I think some people are like, are they all high? And I'm like, no. This is, you know, and I think it's like there's a lot of textual evidence.
Now I'm looking for the high people in here, yeah. See, now if there were, maybe I would have liked it in 1992.
Yeah.
Oh, Kay, it's beautiful.
Thank you so much. And then the other thing with Fitzgerald, he uses color to be very symbolic, and so that was the other reason I wanted to adapt it, because color with yellow and green are like really important to the messages.
All kidding aside, I think a great way to end this is, what I love about this, all kidding, really joking aside, is I think the graphic novel is a great entry for young folks that maybe don't want to crack open the full novel. This is a great entry for them, and it's just beautiful. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
Give it up, everybody, for Kay Woodman-Maynard. Be sure to grab a copy. See, I'll read this. This I'll read, Mr. Johnson. The Great Gatsby, a graphic novel adaptation. Head to her website, woodman-maynard.com. Support local authors. Support authors in your area, small independent bookstores and more. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, everybody. Thank you so much. You were great.
Thank you.
Let's make it.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, earlier in the show, in the hot dish, I mentioned the Sopranos finale that a lot of you, if you're fans, didn't like. You hated. Well, it got us thinking, what are some of the most memorable, awful endings to movies or TV shows that had you screaming? Welcome to Unhappy Endings. That's right, Fallon and I will share the movie or TV endings that made us scream. I will go first. I have two. The first one, these are both from the same director, M. Night Shyamalan. And the first is The Village, directed by M. Night Shyamalan from 2004. Spoiler alert for a 20-year-old movie, but you don't know why these people are in a village. You don't know where the village is. You don't know the meaning of the village. Why are they in the village? Will they ever leave the village? Are we on another planet? No. The end of the movie reveals to you that the village is right next to I-94.
Did they ever hear traffic?
I'm not kidding. The camera pulls out at the end and it's like, oh, look, there's a Ford Taurus. And then the credits roll.
So we never find out why they're in the village?
I don't think so.
Okay.
They just pan out, and I looked at the PR person next to me. I slapped him. I was like, why did you bring me to this movie?
Yeah.
I literally looked at him and I go, I hate you. I hate you. It was 2 hours. and I hated it.
Yeah.
But my rage isn't done. The next one is another M. Night Shyamalan.
You gave it another chance.
It's
Oh, no.
another crap on toast from M. Night Shyamalan, and that is Lady in the Water. So there's a pool in an apartment complex, and there's this chick at night floating in it, and nobody knows why is there a lady in the water in the pool that comes out at night. The whole movie you're wondering, why is Opie Cunningham's daughter in the pool? You don't know why. She's in the pool. Paul Giamatti is the super. He keeps going out, and there's Opie Cunningham's daughter. And you're like, Bryce Dallas Howard, why are you in the pool? And then at the very end, I'm not kidding, I brought my friend to Clelu, and I'm not making this up. Leo, get ready. I'm going to stand up, just camera shot-wise. I'm not joking. I brought my friend to Clelu, who literally can make me laugh like no other. We got to the end, and I'm not joking. Paul Giamatti comes out. Bryce Dallas Howard pops up, breaks the water. She turns into a bird and flies away. And that is the end of the movie. And my friend at Clelu, who had a bottle of wine that he snuck into the movie theater, he took a swig of it and he goes, "Witch turned into an eagle, I'm out." Now, I'll tell you, he didn't use witch. Yours?
Well, it's not that fun, honestly. Mine's not going to be that good. Okay, so mine is Game of Thrones. Okay. Here's why.
Everyone will agree with you.
We loved Game of Thrones, but you know what went into being a fan of Game of Thrones. You had to wait like 2 years between seasons. The show was known for shock, but it was like shocking things you didn't see coming, but then it was like not surprising who it came from, like which characters, right? So while there were very shocking things like the first season, losing the main character, the Red Wedding, to end the series the way they did with the lead who we had followed this entire time, Mother of Dragons, Daenerys, to turn and be the exact opposite of the character she was the entire series was absolutely insane. To go with the old trope that she turns into like a crazy woman, like all she ever cared about was protecting people, and then in one episode she's like, let me kill all the people. I was like, that is not who she is, and then boom, it's over. And I'm like, I waited years for this? Why? The Mother of Dragons, why would you do it to her?
The transition was one episode?
It was so quick. It was like, boom, she's crazy. Yeah. She's on her dragon, flying and burning everyone alive. What in the world? Why? Why?
By the way, that's how this show's gonna end. That's right. Fallon and I are gonna jump on an animal and we're just gonna set everything on fire. Yeah.
A raccoon.
A raccoon.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be right back, everybody. Back in a moment.
Not the Mother of Dragons.
Everyone that has watched the show said what you... Welcome back. Getting ready for the midweek. Please come to our audience claw machine a little bit later. Well, right now, though, they're the strangest and craziest stories we can find. The award-winning Jason Show research team keeps tabs on odd news from around the world, and we put them all together in a segment we call Head-Scratching Headlines, everybody. That's right. And again, if you're playing along at home, Fallon and I don't know what's in this segment until we read it live right now. Here we go. First up, you've likely forgotten phones and had to go back somewhere to retrieve it. But you've probably never had to scale a mountain to go find that lost phone. Someone in Japan was climbing Mount Fuji and needed help getting off the mountain after experiencing altitude sickness. Then 5 days later, he went back to the mountain to look for his phone and other items he left behind, only to be rescued again. No.
Just get a new phone.
Just go to the Apple store and get.
Oh my gosh.
What do you go to Ridgedale Mall or Mount Fuji? I mean, what do you?
Or pay someone athletic who's already heading up to grab your phone.
Yes. Where'd you leave it, Al? Well, right up there.
Yeah.
You know?
By the third pine tree.
10,000 feet up. Next, you've heard the phrase, you can lead a horse to water.
Where's this going?
Well, in New Mexico, you can lead a donkey to the finish line. Burro racing is an official state...
That's awesome.
Burro racing is an official state heritage sport. It's a nod to the Old West. Runners tried to lead their donkey by rope on a
it doesn't want to go.
That donkey isn't going anywhere. Look at that. They lead the donkeys on a 6-mile course. They're not allowed to hop on or ride the donkey. Instead, runners can only try to push or coax them to the finish line. The teams compete for trophies, including a Last Ass Award for the final.
Okay. All right.
Oh, Last Ass is also what the staff calls me sometimes.
I have never related to an animal more. I would be so mad if they tried to make me run 6 miles.
Yes!
You would have to drag and coax me as well.
That's going to be us at Disney World next week. Come on, Fallon. Come up to Space Mountain.
I'm like, no. Someone pull me and carry me.
Next, remember making those macaroni necklaces in elementary school?
Yeah.
Well, now you can step up those necklaces from yarn and noodles to pure gold. Just in time for Mother's Day, Kraft Macaroni and Cheese has released a Forever Macaroni necklace.
Oh, and honestly, that's kind of cute.
14-karat gold noodle, strung on a 16-inch gold chain that comes in a blue box. And it only costs $25. But here's the bad news. It's already sold out online.
I'm sure someone on Etsy is ripping it off already. So
Yeah.
I'll just check there. That is actually very cute. I'm not like that wouldn't work for me because I'm not like the biggest macaroni fan, but I know so many adults that they still they go to the restaurants and they order that as their main course. They love macaroni and cheese. So I think it's cute.
I don't love the powdered one, but the shell, the shells and cheese
Yes.
with the fake cheese product in the pouch.
That's a Velveeta one.
The Velveeta?
Yeah.
Oh, put that in my mouth hole. Oh, yeah. All day, every day. Finally, it's one of the latest approaches to skincare that we do not condone. It's called the caveman method.
What?
A 22-year-old on TikTok
A 22-year-old doesn't need any.
I know.
Yeah, they have youthful skin still.
They want to restore, she wants to restore her skin to her natural state. She hasn't used facial wash to cleanse her face since March, changing her complexion over time. She claims she has the approval of her dermatologist and insists she's not trying to rage bait. Other experts say this is just... Other experts say this is just skincare neglect, and they warn against it.
I'm confused. So she's just not washing her face? That's all she's doing?
She's doing nothing. She's like a cave woman.
But what about when she's in the shower? If she's washing her hair and stuff, by default, stuff would run on her face, right?
Fallon, do I look like a 22-year-old TikToker?
Yes. Yes, you do.
We'll be right back. Back in a moment.
That skin, girl. 22-year-old skin.
Yeah, she's going to wash her. Happy birthday to everyone celebrating at our birthday club. They get that sash, VIP treatment, and thanks to our partner, Home Furniture. That's right. I love you, Home. I like my couch. One of our birthday peeps will get a chance to play the Jason Show midweek. Please come to our audience claw game. And during the commercial break, I picked a winner. Let's see who it is. Barb. No, Barb, stay there. Barb, stay there. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Before the break, I chose a lucky member of our birthday club to play the Please Don't Cuss claw machine. Audience, give it up for Barb, everybody. Barb gets to play the Jason Show midweek Please Don't Cuss claw machine. It includes prizes ranging from a Jason Show Season 10 mug to a free coffee from our fancy Jason Show offices. Or you get to take home photographer Eric to do menial tasks around your house. That's right. So go ahead, Barb. Put the coin in. Now, audience, as soon as she does the claw, cheer Barb on. Now, put the claw wherever you want. Put it strategically right there. Come on, come on! No!
I have a second coin.
But you have a second. Do it again, Barb. There we go. The Fox lawyers don't care, Barb. Go ahead. Do it again. Come on, Barb. One more time.
Guy right there.
Do it, Barb. Come on.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Go out there and be yourself because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll get it, Barb. There we go. Thanks to Barb. Thanks to all of you. Have a great day, everybody. Look, Barb, you got 2